So, if you see the mathematical factor of the if you see the mathematical equations of the factors affecting the speed of sound, where V is the representation of speed. The first one is Newton's formula. Previously, in case of solids, we have discussed about the speed of sound. That is, V is equal to square root of K by rho, where K is bulk constant. For solids, it was there. We have discussed in the previous classes. So, for an isolated medium in isothermal conditions, it will be written as K isothermal by rho. So, if isothermal constant is there, then we can write V1 is proportional to 1 by square root of rho 1 and V2 is proportional to 1 by square root of rho 2. From this, we can write V2 by V1 is equal to square root of rho 2 by rho 1. So, the speed of sound is directly proportional to the square root of the remaining factors. That means, if you see this V2 by V1, V2 is 1 by rho 2, V1 is 1 by rho 1, but under the square root of constant. So, this V2 by V1 is, we will get rho 1 by rho 2 also. This condition is possible when the medium is exposed to be greater speed when compared to the speed of sound. But this case is possible when the speed of the medium is less than the speed of sound. So, most probably these are the natural conditions we are experiencing. So, in this case, because air that can propagate some 8 to 10 meters per second, but if you see the speed of sound through that is 340 meters per second. So, this one is high. So, this case is not possible, it is said to be an ideal condition. So, if you see the comparison of this equation, we can say that V is proportional to P by rho. Here also the density is inversely proportional to the speed of sound. We know that PV is equal to mu RT according to the ideal gas equation. Therefore, P is equal to mu RT by V. Now we can substitute mu RT by V in place of P in this equation. Therefore, speed of sound is equal to square root of mu RT by V rho. The V which was placed in the LHS of the equation is speed of sound. The V which was inside the square root of the given equation is volume. So, here also we can write V is proportional to 1 by root rho, where mu is constant, R is constant, temperature is constant, volume is constant, only density changes. So, this expression can be written like this also. PV is equal to constant according to the ideal gas equation. So, there will be PdV plus VdP is equal to 0. Therefore, PdV is equal to minus VdP. Therefore, P is equal to minus V dP by V dV. Therefore, it was written as minus dP by dV by V. If we substitute this value in the given equation, in any way in all these three processes, we can get the same answer. So, this was the proof of the humidity factor or the density factor that affects the speed of sound. Next, we will discuss about the factor of temperature. The next mathematical equation we should observe is effect of temperature. We know that density is equal to mass by volume. Therefore, rho is equal to m by v. From this expression we can write v is equal to m by rho. So according to ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT or mu RT, where n or mu represents the number of moles. So if n is equal to 1 mole, then we can write PV is equal to RT. In place of V, we can substitute m by rho. So therefore, P into m by rho is equal to RT. So P by rho is equal to RT by m. According to the Newton's correction or Laplace correction, speed of sound V is equal to square root of gamma P by rho in case of adiabatic expansions and compressions. So P by rho is equal to RT by m. So therefore, square root of gamma P by rho is equal to square root of gamma RT by m. That is equal to V. So if you see this whole equation where gamma is adiabatic constant, R is gas constant, mass is also constant. So V is proportional to square root of the temperature. So speed of sound mathematically is directly proportional to the square of the or root of the change in temperature. Speed of sound is directly proportional to square root of change in temperature. So this was given by V is directly proportional to root T. So this equation can be written as V1 by V2 is equal to square root of T1 by T2. Theoretically, temperature and pressure both are related to directly proportional, but mathematically this won't be possible. How? We will see that in the next level. The next factor which was shown in mathematical way is effect of pressure. So we know that PV is equal to RT, P into m by rho is equal to RT. So P by rho is equal to RT by m. So, but velocity is equal to square root of gamma P by rho. Therefore, that is equal to square root of gamma RT by m. And at the same time, what we can understand is it will be like this. PV is equal to constant, first of all. Let us suppose, because if R and T are constants, we know that R is gas constant, T is fixed temperature, let us suppose. So if R and T both are constants, we can say that PV is equal to constant. So if you can say that P into, what is V? M by rho. Suppose if mass of the substance is also fixed or constant, so if mass is also fixed, then P by rho is also equal to constant. This tends to P is proportional to rho. That means at constant mass and constant temperature, the change in pressure is directly proportional to the change in density. That means pressure and density are related. So the factor that affects the pressure means how many times it is increased, that many times increase is possible in the density. So P by rho is always maintained to be constant. That's why we can say that velocity of sound in any given media is independent of the pressure, where the temperature, mass are constants. Speed of sound is independent of pressure when temperature and mass are constants. So like this, we can define the effect of pressure on the speed of sound. The next factor we should expect is effect of humidity. So the next factor is effect of humidity. So what we can say in this case is PV is equal to RT. So P into M by rho is equal to RT. P by rho is equal to RT by M. But velocity is equal to, we are using the same standard equation to prove all the effects. Square root of gamma P by rho. Therefore, there are two factors. One is dry air, second one is moist air. For the dry air, speed is Vd. For moisture air, speed is Vm. For the dry air, density is rho d. Moist air, density is rho m. So if you see the equation, Vm by Vm is equal to square root of gamma P by rho m, and Vd is equal to square root of gamma P by rho d. So Vm by Vd is equal to rho d by rho m under the square root, because rho p get cancelled. So what we can understand in this case is density of the dry air and density of the moisture air. Density of the moisture air is always greater than the density of the dry air. So we can say that density of moisture is less than the density of dry air. That's why velocity in the moisture is greater than the velocity in the dry air. So by observing these two conditions, speed of sound in moist air is greater than the speed of sound in dry air. That means speed of sound is inversely proportional to the square root of the density. in case of humidity, but generally it is proven. Where Vm is speed of sound in moist air, Vd is speed of sound in denser air, Rho-m is speed of sound in, density of the moist air, Rho-d is density of the dry air. So like this, we can observe all factors that are affecting the speed of sound in different media. One is pressure, second one is humidity, third one is temperature, fourth one is density. Remaining factors like blow of the direction of the air, these all are a small influence, that not that much influence on the speed of sound. Only these are the factors that can affect the speed of sound in a rigorous way and in a greater way. One more factor that can be affected the speed of sound is effect of frequency also. We know that what is the frequency? Frequency is the number of oscillations made by a body in a given time, and how this frequency is affecting the speed of sound. So the next concept what we should discuss is effect of frequency on the speed of wave. Generally, velocity or speed is equal to, when a wave is traveling in the straight line, it is distance by time. Or displacement by time. If a wave or any disturbance was traveling in straight line, we can say that distance magnitude is equal to magnitude of the displacement. Therefore, V is equal to L by T. But the distance traveled by a wave in a given time through the different variations is said to be wavelength. By time. So, V is equal to lambda by T. It is defined as lambda into 1 by T is equal to V. What is this 1 by T? 1 by T is nothing but 1 by time period. It is also called frequency. So 1 by T is equal to frequency. So what we can write? V is equal to, the symbol of the frequency is nu into lambda. So V by lambda is equal to nu. Nu is equal to V by lambda, but lambda is equal to V by nu. So V is proportional to nu. Speed of a sound wave is directly proportional to the frequency. What is the meaning of frequency? How frequently a body is doing the oscillations from to and fro. So if number of oscillations made per 1 second is more and repeated in a given time, that can produce a lot of disturbance in the given volume. When it is producing the lot of disturbance in the given volume, the particles which was disturbed at the near places of the body will travel to the long distances. That is nothing but the speed of the sound is going to increase. So this is a frequent oscillation. So at normal conditions, speed of a sound wave is directly proportional to the frequency of the sound wave or frequent oscillations. This is the problem which is related to the velocity of the body with respect to the adiabatic manner. So the content of the problem is, the planet Jupiter has an atmosphere composed mainly of methane at a temperature of minus 130 degrees Celsius. Find the velocity of sound on the planet assuming gamma gas is equal to 1.30 given R is equal to 8.36 joule per mole per Kelvin. Yes, these are the constant values for a given material. We know that speed of sound or velocity of sound v is equal to square root of gamma RT by m. Okay, what is this m? Molecular mass. It is methane. Methane's molecular formula is CH4. Molecular formula of methane is CH4. So its molecular mass is 1 into molecular mass of C plus 4 into molecular mass of hydrogen. So 1 into molecular mass of carbon is 12, 4 into hydrogen's molecular mass is 1. So it is 12 plus 4, 16 grams. So V is equal to square root of gamma is 1.30 into R is 8.36. Temperature we should convert to the Kelvin scale. Therefore, T is equal to minus 130 plus 273. Because Kelvin is equal to Celsius plus 273. 273 minus 130, it is 143 Kelvin. Now we should substitute T is equal to 143 Kelvin there. Whole divided by mass is 16 grams. Therefore, V is equal to 311.6 meters per second. Approximately, if we calculate all the things, we will get 16 in 143 9 times. So we will get root of 9 is 3. So 3 into these all, we will get 311.6 meters per second. This is the velocity of sound on the surface of methane. So this is the problem which relates the concept of velocity and temperature. So at what temperature will the velocity of sound in air be double than the velocity in air at 0 degrees Celsius? We know that V1, V2. Let us say V1 is velocity in air. We should see velocity of sound in air be double than velocity in air at 0 degrees Celsius. That means V2 should become 2V1. What is the corresponding temperature? We know that V2 by V1 is square root of T2 by T1. T1 is 0 degrees Celsius, that is nothing but 273 Kelvin. So we should find out T2. T2 is also 273 plus hoga. So therefore, V2 by V1 is equal to square root of 273 plus T by 273. We know that V2 is equal to V1. Therefore, 2V1 by V1 is equal to square root of 273 plus T by 273. V1 and V1 gets cancelled. So on squaring both sides, two square 4 is equal to 273 plus T by 273. So therefore 273 plus T is equal to 4 into 273. Therefore T is equal to 4 into 273 minus 273. It is nothing but 3 into 273. 819 degrees Celsius. So at 819 degrees Celsius, the speed of sound will become twice when compared to the speed of sound at air in 0 degrees Celsius. This is the problem which is related to the concept of velocity and frequency effects. So a tuning fork of frequency 220 Hz produces sound waves of wavelength 1.5 meters in air at NTP, natural temperature and pressure. Calculate the increase in wavelength when the temperature of air is 27 degrees Celsius. We know that V1 by V2 is equal to square root of T1 by T2. Here V1 is V at 0 degrees, V2 is V at 27 degrees. Therefore, V2 by V1 is equal to square root of T2 by T1. We can write like this. Therefore, V2 by V1 is equal to square root of, what is T2? T2 is temperature is increased to 27 degrees Celsius. Initially it is at 0 degrees Celsius. So therefore 273 plus 27 by 273. So therefore V2 by V1 is equal to square root of 300 by 273. But V is equal to F lambda. V at 0 degrees Celsius is equal to F at lambda. V at 27 degrees is equal to F at lambda 27. Like this we can see the formula. So V2 by V1 is equal to V27 by V0 is equal to square root of 300 by 273. Velocity at 27 degrees Celsius is equal to V0 into square root of 300 by 273. Where V0 is equal to F lambda naught. What is the frequency? 220. What is the lambda naught? 1.5. In air at NTP. NTP means 0 degrees Celsius. Therefore, V0 F is 220. Lambda naught is 1.5 into square root of 300 by 273. Therefore, it is 330. 330 into square root of 300 by 273. So, therefore, we got velocity at 27 degrees Celsius is equal to 330 into root square root of 300 by 273. We know that velocity at 27 is equal to F into lambda 27 is equal to 330 into square root of 300 by 273. What is this F? 220. 220 into lambda 27 is equal to 330 into square root of 300 by 273. Therefore, lambda 27 is equal to 330 by 220 into square root of 300 by 273. So this will be 1.5. So we will get lambda at 27 is equal to 1.57 meters. Lambda at 0 degrees C is 1.5 meters. Therefore, change in wavelength is equal to 1.57 minus 1.5, that is equal to 0.07 meters. So if the temperature rises from 0 degrees to 27 degrees at this conditions, therefore the change in wavelength will be 0.07 meters. So the next concept is classification of sound waves. Suppose if we rub our palms on each other, yes, we will expect some heat is generated between the palms. But the sound waves which were generated due to this rubbing was not that much audible to us. That means it is not at all producing the regular intervals of compressions and rarefactions. That's why it is very difficult for our hearing. That means a human ear cannot hear the all sounds. So only difference in this is frequency. So on the basis of the frequency generated, these sound waves are classified into two types: audible waves second one is inaudible waves. So what is an audible wave? Previously we told that all waves are not heard by the human ear. Human ear doesn't have the effort to hear the all sounds. The difference is frequency. So on the basis of frequency. So audible wave means the waves which are audible to the human ear. The waves which were audible to human ear. But audible means it is based on the frequency also. So what is the frequency range for the audible waves? So the frequency range is 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz, where Hertz is the SI unit of frequency. SI unit of frequency. It was also written as 20 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz. Whenever the sound waves has the frequency between this range, then these are audible to the human ears. What are the examples? Clapping, sound of clapping, musical instruments, next the sounds which were produced by our vocal cords. All those are audible to us, which gives a pleasant atmosphere and pleasant feel when we heard it. Then those are called audible waves. So what about the inaudible waves? The inaudible waves, those are which are not audible to the human ears. So the sound waves which are not audible to the human ears. These waves are classified into two types. So, inaudible waves are classified into two types. First one is infrasonic waves. Second one is ultrasonic waves. Now we will discuss these two in detail. So, infrasonic wave is one of the inaudible wave. We can say that this classification is on the basis of frequency. So the frequency of the infrasonic wave is less than 20 Hz. So if a frequency of a sound wave or if a frequency of vibration is less than 20 Hz, that is not audible to the human ear. So very less frequency means very less frequent vibrations that did by the body. So the sound wave produced is also very less. That means in this case it is inaudible to the human ear. What are the examples? Earthquake. Earthquake is the best example of the infrasonic wave. The waves which were produced due to the change in the interplates of the earth was not audible to the human ear, but such animals like dogs can hear it. So dogs has the capacity or ability to listen or to hear the sounds of frequency less than 20 Hz. That's why we can say that animals are best listening capacity when compared to the human beings. They can able to observe the sensations in the earthquake. Second example, second one, this is the list of the infrasonic. The second one in the same case is ultrasonic. Infrasonics are the frequency less than 20 Hz. Ultrasonic means the frequency which has more than 20 kHz. Frequency greater than 20,000 Hz. So if the frequency of the sound wave is more than the 20,000 Hz, those sound waves are called ultrasonic sound waves. Examples: quartz crystal, which was placed in the wall clocks and the wristwatches, so that is doing some oscillations. The sound wave is more than 20,000 Hz. These ultrasonics has many uses in the different fields. So if you see the clear picture of these sound waves, audible range is, so if you see it, infrasonic, audible range, ultrasonic. So this is less than 20, this is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz, and this is greater than 20,000 Hz. So like this we can classify the sound waves on the basis of their frequency. We know that velocity is equal to frequency into lambda. So if more frequency, more velocity. That's why we can say that the ultrasonic waves will exhibit the more velocity when compared to that. But lambda is equal to V by F. So if frequency is going to be more or increased, lambda is going to decrease. That means ultrasonic sound waves has less wavelength, or ultrasounds has less wavelength. That's why the sound waves which are ultrasounds in the range, they are not audible to the longer distances. They are audible only to the given finite dimensions. Like this, we can classify the sound waves on the basis of their frequency separation. Now we are discussing about the wave function. What is the meaning of wave function? A function means it is a mathematical expression which describes the motion of the wave through any medium. Such like that, let us suppose take a string which is fixed at one end, free at another end. Suppose if we apply the force like this, like a perpendicular, then it creates the crests and troughs in it. Then the diagram will change like this. This diagram shows the wave pattern along the string which is fixed at one end and which is free at another end. Now like this it will start. After some time interval, it is the position. After some time interval, that means what we can expect from this graph is the wave pattern is moving towards the obstacle or the fixed position. Whenever the wave pattern which was arises due to the disturbance along the string is moving from one end to the another end, it is associated with many physical quantities. One is amplitude, second one is displacement, third one position, velocity, time, and many more physical quantities that are dependent on these five. So such like this, if you want to describe the motion of the wave pattern along the string, it should be associated with these physical quantities. Whenever these physical quantities were expressed in a mathematical form to describe the motion of a wave is called wave function. The wave function is called as, or the wave function is defined as a mathematical expression which describes the motion of wave pattern involving the x, v, t and many more. Is called a wave function. It is defined as a mathematical expression which describes the motion of a wave pattern involving x, v and t. So function, the symbol is f. That means the mathematical expression of this function is described as in terms of f. Let us suppose if the wave is started like this, then we can eliminate this. What is the position coordinates of this wave? It is t is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0, automatically v is also 0. This is moving towards the forward direction. If suppose the motion has started from the second end and moving towards the origin, then these two cases will be expressed in a mathematical form like this. F is equal to f of x plus or minus vt. So the equation we have written is f of x plus or minus vt. Here this f is the function which describes the displacement of the wave along the string. So such like that, one wave loop is created on the string and we will see the initial and final positions of this. Here it is t is equal to 0. At the same time v is also 0. So the perpendicular displacement is also called amplitude. This is the initial position of the wave. This is the final position of the wave in a half cycle. So the wave is traveling towards right or towards the end point. In this case, this f will become y. What is this y? Displacement. Now we are expressing the displacement of the sound wave as a function of position, velocity, time. Here it is the plus or minus coordinate, but here I wrote minus. What is the reason? The wave is traveling to right. So then what is the need to express with minus coordinate? Because when a wave is traveling towards the right, its amplitude continuously decreases because wave always travels from the high range to the low range. But whenever this was moved in the opposite direction like this, so here also we can expect t is equal to 0 and v is equal to 0, and in this case the displacement of the wave is expressed as y is equal to f of x plus vt. The wave is traveling to left. So this is said to be function. Which function? Wave function. So here the wave function is representing with position, velocity, time. So x is position of the wave, v is velocity of the wave, t is time period of the wave. Mostly all the waves are periodic in nature, otherwise they won't propagate to the longer distances with same equal amplitude and some fixed displacement. So we will check how the periodicity will work to express the wave nature or to express the equation of the wave along the strings. So the subclassified form of the wave function, the another type is periodic wave function. What is periodicity? Repeating the motion in the same path after the fixed time interval is called periodic wave function, means a periodic path. So periodicity. So periodicity means repeating, continuous repetitions of by fixing the time intervals. So a wave or waveform repeats itself in fixed time intervals. Is called periodic wave function or is called a periodic wave. So in this case, what we can expect is, this is the waveform. Continued. So these loops, these up peaks and only up peaks we are observing, these up peaks were created or formed after the fixed time intervals. The time interval between these two and these two and these two are same. So if the time interval is not fixed, of course a waveform is repeating itself. It is not said to be a periodic wave function. So in this case, the distance, we can say this as lambda, because the lambda wavelength is defined as crest to crest or trough to trough, or successive distance with the distance between two successive compressions or rarefactions. In this case, here to here, the peak to peak distance is called lambda. In other words, means we are expressing this wave function in terms of velocity and time also. Therefore, we can write v into t. The same v into t is repeated here also and here also. So If we wrote a function which is useful to describe the displacement of the wave and that to be a periodic wave, it is written like this: y of x comma t is equal to f of x plus or minus vt. So this x is position, t is time, is a representation of f of x plus or minus vt. So the same path of the wave is repeated after some time. So let us say the time is repeated sometime is at a distance of lambda, but the fixed path between the up peak and up peak of the two successive crests or trough is equal to lambda, or we can write it as n lambda, because lambda, next 2 lambda, 3 lambda, it is continued in form of n's. So now this position of the wave is keep on adding with a factor of n lambda in periodicity. Therefore, the same path is repeated after n lambda distance. So therefore, the equation of periodicity can be written like this: y of x plus n lambda of comma t is equal to f of x plus or minus vt. Suppose if the distance is changed to n lambda plus n lambda plus n lambda, what about the time? Time is also keep on changing. So here in this case we have mentioned the change in the distance with periodic function, and in the next case we should write the change in periodic function with time. So therefore it is written like this: y of x comma t plus mt is equal to f of x plus or minus vt. So here t was also changed. So because of the change in this time and change in this position with the factor of lambda and mt, where m and n are integers, then the function will be f of x plus or minus omega vt or r omega t. So like this we can define the periodic wave functions in case of sound waves. The another classification in this case is harmonic wave function. All periodic motions are harmonic, but all harmonic motions are not periodic. So in this case what we can understand is, harmonicity means if a particle is vibrating to and fro from a mean position, all particles are in connectivity with each other. Means no particle is out of phase when the body is vibrating. Such type of motion is called harmonic motion. So harmonicity is represented with a sine function or cosine function, because all particles may be parallel to the reference frame or perpendicular to the reference frame. So therefore y of xt is represented by a sine 2 pi by lambda into vt minus x plus phi naught. Here a sine 2 pi by lambda is a propagation constant. It is also represented by k, like a sine kx minus omega t, like that. So you can write this one as a cosine function also. Therefore y of xt is equal to a cos, again 2 pi by lambda into vt minus x plus phi naught. What we can understand from these expressions, where A is amplitude of the wave, V is velocity of the wave, T is time period of the wave, X is position of the wave, phi naught is initial phase of the wave. These all are the physical quantities that were used to express describing the motion of the wave along the string or along any other solid medium. So this is a function progressive. And one more thing what we can say is, we can express this displacement with respect to the periodicity in position and time. Now we will check harmonic wave functions are periodic. There are two ways to show as periodic. One is according to the position, another one is according to the time. First we will check the position periodicity. So, periodicity in position. Initial position of the particle or nothing but the wave is x. Whenever it is periodic, then we should add this one, or we should add x as a case of x plus lambda, because lambda is the periodic function to observe the wave function in this case. So the general equation is written like this: y of x comma t is equal to a sine 2 pi by lambda into Vt minus x plus phi naught. So what we can understand is, this x is repeated at the position of the particle is repeated after the time interval, some time interval, and at that point this periodic function becomes x plus lambda. So after the lambda distance, the path repeats. Itself. So what we can understand from this, therefore y of x plus lambda comma t is equal to a sine 2 pi by lambda into Vt minus x plus lambda plus phi naught. Now this will be a sine 2 pi by lambda into Vt minus x minus 2 pi by lambda into lambda plus phi naught, because we did the expansion. Here this lambda and lambda gets cancelled. So let us suppose sine 2 pi plus or minus theta. So we can say that sine of theta plus or minus 2 pi is nothing but sine theta. So after the 2 pi time period, or after the 2 pi angle, the path repeats itself. Therefore in place of all this we can write sine theta. Therefore y of x plus lambda comma t is equal to a sine 2 pi by lambda into Vt minus x plus phi naught. So harmonic wave functions are periodic in position. Next we will check it is periodic or not in time. Now we will check the periodicity of harmonic wave functions in time. Periodicity of harmonic functions in time. That means if length extended to x plus lambda, automatically time will also change, t plus t, t plus 2t, t plus nt or mt. So length changes from x to x plus n lambda, time also changes from t plus nt, where n is integer. So already we have proven that the position coordinate is periodic in harmonic function. Now we will see the corresponding time is a periodic or not. So the general expression for this is y is e of x comma t is equal to f of, or we can write a sine 2 pi by lambda into vt minus x plus phi naught. And one more thing, here we are not observing the position periodicity in time. Therefore, y of x comma t plus capital T is equal to a sine 2 pi by lambda into v of t plus capital T minus x plus phi naught. So therefore it is a sine 2 pi by lambda into vt plus 2 pi by lambda into capital T minus 2 pi by lambda into x plus phi naught. We did simple expansion of the form. So we will get 2 pi by lambda, Vt is lambda gets cancelled, and it is time, and here also it is x. So therefore a sine 2 pi by lambda into lambda plus 2 pi by lambda into t minus 2 pi by lambda into x plus phi naught. So in this case what we can write is y of x comma t plus t is equal to, this lambda and lambda gets cancelled, this is 2 pi by lambda into t, this is x. So therefore it was nothing but vt minus x. So a sine 2 pi by lambda, we can write x as vt plus phi naught. Again we got the same equation. So what we can understand is in time also harmonic functions are periodic in nature.